So good evening and welcome back again. In this session, we will discuss or share a ICT-based tool that we call CMAP tools. So before starting the session, I will request Anirban Samanto. Please, Anirban, look after the joining process, and in between, I am going to share my slide and start the session.
Yeah, anyone, I'll do the something definitely.
Okay, thank you. I am putting Anirban your mic on mute. So welcome back, and this session cluster 3 code 03A is meant for sharing a few ICT based tools with you that you can use to organize your classroom. And I'll say not only the classroom, whatever I am sharing today, the tool can be used in everywhere, even to manage, you can use it to manage your daily lives also. So right now I'm going to share the slide and then we'll start the discussion. So is it visible to you right now?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So we will talk today about the visualization of learning materials. So, and you are seeing that it is written as concept mapping. So first of all,
আসবেনি 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 ঘর হ্যাঁ
hello, someone, Anirban Samanto, you are putting my mic on mute. Please don't do that. Okay, some technical glitches happened. Anyway, we are resuming. So I am talking about the concept mapping. So what is concept map? We will learn first, and then how this concept, why this concept map we are talking about is called, as we are calling it, visualization of learning. So first, so initially start with why the visualization is important. Actually, visualization of learning, to understand the visualization of learning, we have to understand why is it so important. See, we are human beings, and it is our very inherent nature that we try to organize everything, and of course our knowledge, uh, into orders from chaos. Suppose you are you are gathering lots of information throughout the day and throughout your life, and those are actually making a chaos in your brain. So every time your brain try to make put them in order, to understand the meaning, to connect those informations with each other, and finally, after connecting each nodes of information, it make a complete concept, or it gather knowledge. So this way knowledge are formed in our brain. So it is our basic nature to create order from chaos. So actually you can see in different subjects also, everywhere we are make putting the things in a ordered manner. Like if you know about the taxonomy in different subject or classification, actually we do classification just to put them in order. Suppose if in any subject, take your from chemistry to life science, everywhere we do classification of the things, because we there are thousands and millions of things that we have to go through during our study, but it is not possible to take all this information haphazardly. So that's why we take the material and put them in an order and classify them. So this is our very basic nature. And what we are doing actually with this ordering, actually we are making a sense. That means we are trying to make a visualization of the things in a nutshell. So as we are educator, always our goal remains to construction and sharing of knowledge. Always our aims remains to construct and sharing our knowledge. We always try to construct knowledge, and we try to share our knowledge. Without sharing, the knowledge does not means anything, or it is not worthy. So as educator, it is our basic goal. And when you are trying to sharing something, you have to put in a order. In a if you share, you are trying to share something that you know in a haphazard way, then it will not make sense to the end users. So it is very much required to put them in order, and to exchange the idea. It is our common task that we usually perform when we are trying to sharing something. So these are the basic things that we always that we have to consider, and this is that is why the visualization of learning is so much important. And in a nutshell, if I say that whatever you are trying to do, if you are not putting them in order, you cannot make any sense from that. So when you are trying to learn something, actually you are gathering lots of information, you are gathering lots of concepts, and then you try to connect those concepts and put them in an ordered manner, and you construct a story, and that is the knowledge that remain in our brain forever. And if you do not construct that story, the information, the gathered or isolated information will not retain in your brain for much longer period. And it is a very practical experience that you have. So this is why we will try to put our concepts in an order, and that is why the visualization is so important. Here are some examples of some concept mapping. So I am skipping it. Uh, and now see, here I am sharing some visual organizers that we call. That means these are some ways that we can use, or we use to in our daily lives, to organize our informations in different patterns. And these are some example. And today we will talk about this concept map. These are different kinds of examples that we use to be as a visual organizer. But today we will concentrate on this concept map. Here you can see the comparison or contrast matrix. You are many of you has gone through the brain mapping process also. So see, I am giving an example. Suppose in today's life, you it's a very general our day-to-day life example. Suppose you are trying to you are thinking of buying a mobile phone from the market, and you have at least 5 to 6 companies in the market, and each company has, suppose, 10 different mobile sets. So right now you have a choice of 60 to 70 different models of mobiles from different companies. And now if you try to gather all the informations of each mobile sets and try to compare in a haphazard way, I think it will take at least 2 to 3 months to decide which mobile to take. But if you do it like that I am showing here in a very small thumbnail, that is comparison or contrast matrix. Suppose you are putting the mobile phones, the model of mobile phones in columns, and the different, and they are different, what I can say, that their features on the rows. And now you put them in this order, and now you think what is your basic need that you have to decide. If you are a multitasking, if you are a multitasker, then your emphasis should be on high processing power or high RAM. If you are a photograph lover, then you will go for a better camera. So first decide what is your need, and then start to put right tick marks on the features given by the different mobile sets, and then you can easily recognize which one you need, and that will make your task very easier. So this is the importance of visualization of your informations. So in this comparison or contrast matrix, we can do it very easily. So this is a very daily life example. I am trying to give you the idea of why we are emphasizing on visualization of learning, and why we are emphasizing such maps on such maps. So we will right now discuss on this concept maps. So now, what is concept map? Here are some. Here you can see these green spots, and take them as different concepts. Okay, and now connect each concepts with these arrows, which we will call edges, and these concepts will be called as nodes. So these nodes are being connected by the edges. And now here are some labels we are putting between the connections and naming the relationship. Now I'm giving an example. Suppose I eat rice. So here I is a concept, and the rice is another concept. And if I put I here and rice here, this I and rice is being connected by a edge. And what I say, that I eat rice, that eat, the word eat will act as label or linking phrase. So this way it will form a, that we call a proposition. That means when two concepts get connected through a edge using a linking phrase or label, we call it as proposition. And we construct our knowledge by connecting some proposition after proposition, and finally we create a story. So this is the nature or example of what we say concept map. That means a concept map should have two concepts, and that must be connected with the edge, and there should be a label or a linking phrase. In what happened in case of suppose flow diagram, what we are very used to. So in flow diagram, there are several concepts remain connected with edges, but those may there this linking phrase are usually missing. And now if I say I rise, it does not make any sense until you are connecting it with it. So if I say I and rise, these two, I put these two concepts and connect them with edges that we usually do in case of flow diagram. And so in that case, it might be interpreted as I eat rice or I cook rice, whatever I can do. But when you are putting the eat label, the label or phrase eat in between, it is specifies that I eat rice. So this is how concept map differs from others, flow diagram and others. So you have to keep in your mind from the very beginning, when you are trying to develop a concept map, you must have these characters. That means you must have two concept connected with edge, and there should be a level or linking phrase. Without that linking phrase, that will not be a concept map. That may be something others. So that may be something else. So suppose I am giving a very toy example to make it more clear. Here you can say, you can see that I'm giving an example. Plant has leaves, roots, flowers. Leaves are green and need water. Plant roots finds water. Plants need sunlight. Sunlight is yellow, so can be flowers. So right now I am giving you 20 seconds to read it, and then I will ask you that what you have read, please repeat. And I am sure some of the concept will be missing in between when you are trying to utter all the words. But if I give it like this, that this plant has leaves, leaves are green, plant needs sunlight, sunlight is yellow, and plant has flowers, flowers can be yellow, plant has roots, roots finds water, and leaves need water. So if I represent that paragraph like that, and I am again giving you 20 seconds, and I am sure it will you will not miss any concept when you are trying to repeat it. Isn't so? What do you think?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes.
This is really useful.
So that is the usefulness of concept map. Okay, then I am going to show some complex maps to you. Here is a very complex concept map as an example. I am not going through in the very detail of it, because I will show you again with some more different examples. Here, I am sharing some different structures that we can use to make a concept map. Here you can say this model, we call it as spider model. Here, different concepts are connected. We are not showing any linking phrase here in between, because there is no words or meaningful words are written here. It is just some toy example like. So you can make a concept map like this also. Suppose you are going to teach a topic which is interdisciplinary. So there are some, there may be some knowledge associated with that topic, which comes from physics, some knowledge from chemistry, some knowledge from biology that you are trying to share with your student, and you initially you make a concept map for your ease of giving that lecture. So you can put those concepts in different colors. You can use physics, one color for physics, one color for chemistry concept, one color for biology concept, and you have a central concept, and then the primary concept, and then the secondary concept. And this way, if you form this concept map, it will uh, it will be going to help you lot, uh, help you a lot, because when you are in rush and you will see the map that you have prepared for the class, you instantly you can identify what are the concept of physics, chemistry, and biology is involved, and you can easily identify that maybe you are a teacher of physics and you are not very well acquainted with some concept of the biology, but which is very much needed to teach the topic. And within the chaos, if you put some different colors for different subject, you can easily identify which concepts are from biology, and you make yourself prepare just before 5 minutes of your class, and you can easily take the class using this map in your pocket. So that could be a helpful thing. So you can organize in different way. You organize it in different way that I will show you more with some more different examples. Here are some examples. They use different colors and hierarchy. One is a central concept. Then suppose here it is assessment types. They have made a concept map. Though again I am saying here in these toy examples there are no linking phrase, but that should not be. It is just for purpose to show the use of different colors that can make it more readily enjoyable. So that's why the purpose. Or you may use this kind of concept map with different uh, you are putting picture of the concept instead of only writing the concept in words, and that will make more fun for your students, and it will be more readily understandable for your students. So these are different example, different types of example I am giving. So now, what is the use of what are the use of concept map? That is the very important thing, because when I'll tell you that please use this tool, and you will ask me instantaneously that what will be the use in my life or in my profession. So at very beginning, what you can use it very effectively for lesson planning and preparation. Suppose you have a class in next day, you just and you are very much well acquainted, though the teachers are very much well acquainted with the lesson plan system. And what happens generally, according to the protocol, we have to prepare a lesson plan consisting of several pages, and some do's and don'ts are there. These are the things. But what happens in our daily life, it's in many cases in Indian schools, that a teacher may have to take 4 to 5 classes even each day. So in that cases, they don't get the enough time to prepare each lesson plan for each classes. So in that case, what you can prepare a concept map, a simple concept map for each lesson, and which will take a very minimum time, because there don't have to write lots of things in a proper and maintained way that you do in your lesson plan. So just sketch some concept map for each topic you are going to teach, and keep them in your pocket. Just before going to your class, you just rewind it, and it will help you a lot, that you already go through the different example, and you could understand it easily how much helpful it will be. So it can be easily used for effectively used for lesson planning, and even you can attach it with your well prepared lesson plan at the end of the lesson plan also. In different colleges, colleges, in B.Ed trainings, they do so, they recommend to do so also. And that I already talked about, to provide a coherent structure to teaching materials and making links explicitly, and see what happens in our regular experience that I can share. And I hope you also have gone through that type of experience. Uh, Sometime you finish the class, and during return from your class, suddenly it click on your mind that, oh, I forgot that point to mention in the class. And that is always already too late, because you have left your class. And then you start to think what I will teach in next class. And then and then you suddenly realize that the point that you have already missed in your class is very much crucial for the topic you are going to teach in next class. So what happens? You have to rewind again your class. You have to repeat the class again in the next day. So what happened? It will create a very bad, it will give you a very bad experience. And this happens usually. But if you before going to your class, you sketch a concept map, and keep in your pocket, and during the class you just go through the map, just give a glance to the map, and you could easily identify which point you are leaving, or which point you are missing, or which point you should tell to the student. And in this way it can help you a lot to organize your classroom properly. And also, if you show a concept map after your lesson to your student, uh, it will help the concept integration in their mind also. And again, that I have already discussed, that that when you are omitting some key materials, that will not happen if you have this concept map in your pocket. And this is another important point, that is formative learning, or I can say the formative assessment also. You can use this concept map, and how you can use that, I will show with an example next to it. So suppose you have uh, taught a few lessons in your class. You have taught few lessons in your class, and then uh, next day tell your student to write a concept, draw a concept map connecting those concepts. And when they start doing it, you can easily identify what are the concepts that they are missing, what they have not understood very well. If they have a very good idea about the concept that you have taught, then they can easily draw a very good concept map without repeating the concepts, without very much repetition of the concepts, without very much repetition of links. And if they didn't understand it very well, what will happen, the map they will prepare, it will have lots of repetitions, it will have lots of loss of connections between the concepts, it may have few misconceptions there. So this way you can identify your students lacuna, as well as you can identify, if you see that most of the students are lacking some one or two ideas, then you could easily understand that that idea, you have not taught that idea very well. So this way you can evaluate your teaching also, that what are the what were the lacunas during your teaching, as well as what were the lacunas in the mind of your students. So it will be a very useful tool. It can be very used effectively in your daily classroom teaching for formative assessment and formative learning. Another thing I would like to mention, that is visual spatial learners. You know that there are lots of students, lots of people who are very much visual learners. Like I can say I am also a visual learner, because if you tell me to read 10 um, something, or 10 to 12 paragraphs, and then you ask me what you have read, it will be more easier to me if you show a picture or concept map, like a diagram like that, and it is usually very easier to me remember that things. And most of the you can you must have lots of students in your classroom who are visual learners. Actually they learn very good from a diagram, rather than reading lots of paragraphs and lines. And usually that is not for the visual learners also. Human brain actually processes diagrams 10 times faster than words. So to integrate the concept more easily, this visualization of learning will help your students very much. Here are some concept map for biology. And what happens, you can use this concept map to revealing or activating their prior knowledge also. Suppose you are going to teach some topic in classroom, and that needs some prior knowledge, and you don't want to waste lots of time to repeat that prior knowledge. So in that case, you can just use this concept map, and you can show them. Suppose you are going to teach the lungs in classroom, but you assume that your students should have the prior knowledge, like air contains carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen. Carbon dioxide expelled by lungs, and oxygen absorbed by lungs. And these are the things they should have the prior knowledge. And you want to repeat it in a very short time, you can use this concept map, and you can see that you can do it very easily, just putting it like this. And that I am telling you that here what I would going to say, that air contains oxygen. Oxygen absorbed by lungs. Air contains carbon dioxide and nitrogen also. Carbon dioxide is expelled by the lungs, and oxygen here attaches. And now you are going to teach the lungs, and how lungs delivered oxygen to the blood, how blood is connected, how blood flows from the within the blood vessels, and what are the major component of blood, like hemoglobin, which have a very much to do with the oxygen and carbon dioxide. So this way you can integrate concept one by one by one, and it will make a very good sense in your student's mind. Now, another thing that I was talking about, the misconception, identifying a misconception. I'm going to going to give another example. Usually what happens in case of very little children's, for suppose for class 3, 4, 5, in these grade students, they learn that we put manure uh, in the trees, for trees. We put manure on soil to grow the tree, and they come to know that tree needs these manures to grow. And they also come to know that tree produce food in the form of carbohydrate or anything. So this way, if suppose you have taught this concept to your student, and you are confident that they have already understand what you have told, that tree makes foods through photosynthesis, and it is carbohydrate, and tree needs manure to grow. This is just this simple concept. But what happened? And it happened, and it come to our notice when it was tried on students, when they were told to make concept map and represent the idea. What happened? We see that they had a misconception. They had got a misconception. What was that misconception? They understood like this, that as you are putting manure for your tree to grow, and they also come to know that tree produce food. So they connected the degradation process of manure to the production of food, and they ultimately come up with an idea that tree produce food directly from the degradation of that manure. And it was impossible to identify this kind of misconception if you just give a lecture, or just take a formative assessment with question answer. It was really impossible to identify such misconception. Here you can see what they have written: plant absorbs here she plant absorbs carbohydrate released from decaying animal, and input carbon cycle, output carbohydrate, whatever in their mind they have written. And see here what they have what the misunderstanding happened here. Plant absorbs carbohydrate, actually they are linking the production of carbohydrate with that manure you are putting to the tree to grow. So they are connecting the concept like this: when you are putting some manure and that is decaying, manure means some decaying part of animals or plants, which is actually making the carbohydrate. So plant absorbs so that's why they are telling that plant absorbs carbohydrate, which is released from decaying animal and dumped on the soil. So these kind of things happens, and it remains unnoticed if we do not use this type of tools to evaluate our students. So this is a very good tool to identify such misconception that remain for a long time in the mind of the students. You can use a concept map to for the evaluation purpose like this. Suppose you here you give the teeth, 4 types of enamels, foods, and whatever you have planned, put it in a concept map, leave some blank spaces, and tell them to connect those blank spaces with concepts and phrases. And you can easily identify the misconception or the lack of knowledge, whatever is going in their mind. So you can easily use these kind of tools, the concept maps, to evaluate your formative evaluation of your students. So here are some other example also that I have already told, that in case of a very what will be the character of good a very good concept map, and you can identify the basic misconception of your students. Here is a example of a very complex concept map. See, I'm trying to explain a little bit. Here what we have: oxygen and deoxygen process, uh, and this is a topic of chemistry. Suppose oxygenation and deoxygenation process. Here we are connecting the process within, that means hematin formation and separation within our blood, and oxidation reduction reaction. We are connecting that oxygenation and deoxygenation process, that means that happens in our blood, that is oxyhemoglobin, deoxyhemoglobin in case of within our blood. And uh, with this concept we are connecting the concept of hematin formation in our and the separation process of our blood. Parallelly we are connecting, when we are telling about the oxygenation deoxygenation process, we are connecting the oxidation reduction reactions, purely a chemical chemistry reaction. And as well as we are connecting the oxygen transport system in our blood, and with that oxygen transport system our cellular respiration is very much connected, that is from the biological part, and also the formation process of our red blood cells. So these are lots of concept have is put it in this small concept map, and you can easily understand. To understand all these things, to go through all these things, minimum you have to read at least 6 to 10 chapters, and even you can read 6 books also together. This uh, gist, but you can easily convey the whole idea of your 10 chapters in a very easy way to using by using a concept map. And you can see this from this slide later on. And I am sure whatever the subject of yours may be, you will easily understand this complex concept, and you can easily keep in your mind. So that is the magic of concept map. So here I'll discuss some tools, information communication technology based tools or ICT based tools that we can use a concept map. At the very beginning, I would like to say that you can make a concept map using plain pen and paper. But we are emphasizing this kind of tool because one thing, the as in our digital life, it is very much easy to store our idea if you put it in a digital platform, or you create it in a using a digital tool. You can store it for much longer time. it will not be lost like a pen and paper, like what happens in case of pen and paper. We usually lose our papers after few days, so that will not happen. As well as you can share your idea through digital from using digital platform to throughout the world to all of your students very easily with a single click of email. Or you can keep your ideas in the form of concept map in a cloud based system, and can have access from anywhere from the world. So so that means if you make a concept map using ICT based, using a software or tool, you will have the access to your repository from any part of the world, and it will travel with you. Your knowledge always will travel with you. So that is the flexibility you will get by using some such tools like softwares. And as well as every more or less every school has the ICT rooms. Even uh, schools from very rural or interior area, as I see in West Bengal also, everywhere more or less they have an ICT room. With few, maybe there maybe number of computers are fewer, but they have. And usually that those ICT rooms remain idle, so you can use those ICT rooms and tell your students to use some such tools in that ICT room and make such concept maps that can help you during your teaching, as well as help them to integrate the concepts more easily, uh, as well as you can use it as a project also. You can give them an idea and tell them make a concept map, as you can go to the ICT room and make concept map as you think, and then show me. And I am sure if you give this task to 5 students, or tell them to work in a group, and you are putting 5 students in each group, and you have 10 computers, you will can manage 50 students, and they initially they have discuss a plan, and finally they make using a single computer and then show to you. And I'm sure you will get at least 5 types of different concept maps for 5 different groups. And from that concept map you can also get an idea what is going in their mind, what are the lacunas they have in their studies or in your teaching. So you can use it in several different way with a proper planning. And that is the necessity of software system or digital concept mapping. So here are some softwares that is I can say inspiration software. Though this software is paid, the inspiration software is a paid software, but its interface is very much enjoyable. And uh, the concept map that I have already shown you, that those hearts and skeletons figures, the concept map made with figures like hearts and skeletons, with that was very attractive. That kind of concept map can be very easily be made with this inspiration software. And then this is CMAP software, which is developed by Florida Institute for Human and Machine Cognition. This tool is free to all. You can just download from their website and use it anywhere. And this is a free tool. And this is a very dedicated tool for concept mapping. And we are going to use this tool and and I'll show you how to use the tool by sharing my screen. So as we are using this tool because this is a free tool and very much dedicated, very much handy, easy to use, and with a very good user interface. And you can use the PowerPoint, Word, these kinds of things also, but there is a limitation because these PowerPoint or words are not meant for concept map. That is, these softwares are not dedicated to concept map. And what the trouble you will face when you are trying to put a linking phrase in between, and in that case you have to struggle a lot. So that's why we are going to use a software which is dedicated for concept mapping, and that will make our task more easier. So that I was telling you that group activity, about the group activity, how can you use a group activity and give it as project, and these are the things mentioned. And here are the references that I have used to prepare the slide. And here are some examples. And thank you for listening. And right now, I'm going to share the software, that is the CMap. And before doing so, I would like to invite participants. If you have any question, you can ask just initially after going through this slide.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you told about the concept maps. So, when we are connecting linking the concepts,
Yeah.
how to do the choice of the linking word, because that is an important part, I suppose.
Yes, so that you have to plan. Suppose I am I gave lots of examples that, but one thing keep in mind: the linking phrase must be very small, hardly 2 to 3 word you can use, but you cannot use a sentence as linking phrase. That you should keep in mind.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Anirban,
Yes,
hello.
yes,
Do you
sir.
hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's really a fantastic explanation of the concept mapping that rightly now I understand to some extent, not earlier. Though I have rather gone through so many lectures, by you and Professor Bhomik and so on. So this time, I'd like to understand whether the periodic table in chemistry, which is given in matrix format, can be reduced to a concept map or itself can be considered as a concept map. This is my first question.
Sir, it could be reduced to a concept map. I cannot say it's a concept map, because that I have already shared the basic characteristics of concept map that does not go to the with the structure of that thing.
So the learner chemistry teachers in this workshop, I can try whether the periodic table can be converted to concept map.
Yeah, this
And I
is a
think that
very
will be
good idea, sir.
that will be very useful to learn, because periodic table is not only at the heart of chemistry, it is at the heart of physics also, to learn many things, many things. So this is my one point. Second point is that in this morning session, we have this. I have just at the end of the session, I described 3 experiments. They're similar experiments. Is it possible to connect those experiments together or in isolated fashion? How the different concepts like the laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion, the forces, the acceleration, and so many things which are actually involved there can be connected to produce a good concept map that will help. And in fact, if the learned teachers actually do that thing and post it to our group, then we can see how they have understood the things. And in the process, because I am really very novice in drawing this concept map, I shall be also able to learn the concept mapping. I think
Yes.
I may request the learners, the teachers in this workshop to do that job. Okay, this is
So
very.
it's a very good idea, sir. Actually, we can do it, and as I think it will be very much effective in your classroom if you, when you are going to deliver a lecture on that topic, whatever you have shown in morning, you share your ideas with your student, then you show your experiment, engage them, make them involved in the experiment, and then let them derive ideas from that experiment with their experiential learning. And finally you put a concept map in front of them and summarize the whole thing. and that will do a very good job, I think.
So this is a request to all of you, please do it and post it, because we don't have much time to everyone discussing in this platform. So if we get the things, then we can discuss also in a simple, in a very small time. Okay. Then
So
as a request you to react on the Dr. on Anirban's lecture, so please do it. He has given a very good lecture.
So
And
if anyone has anything to ask, you can proceed, or otherwise I will start sharing the software to you. Okay, I think I should go to show the software, and then again we will return. And during this period, if you have any question in your mind, you make it prepare for throwing in the session. Okay, give me some time to share the screen. So now you're seeing my desktop, isn't it?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Then see, this is the CMap tool, the icon of CMap tool. I am going to click on it and open it. It will take some time because I am using a very old laptop and it is struggling with these lots of things. And during the lockdown period, I don't have access with that good laptops that we have, that I have in my department. So right now I have to go with it. So please bear with me. Okay. Now, here you can see, after opening the CMap tool, you can see two window has opened. Is it visible, this two window to you? Please someone tell me, is it visible? These two
Yes,
windows are
visible.
visible?
Yes,
Okay.
visible.
Okay,
Hmm.
thank you.
Both the
So
windows are visible.
when you will open the double click on the CMap tool, initially it will come with these two window. And one thing I would like to mention, when you are using it for the first time, then a screen will come in front of you and will ask to create a ID and password. So after doing that, with your ID, with your email ID, using your email ID or any user ID, and put your password on that, and after that it will redirect you to these two windows. Here the window that is in left side, you can you can see it is written as views CMap tool. This is actually, the left side window is actually acting as the repository section of your CMap tool, that I will explain later. So I am I am making it minimize. So I am minimizing it right now, and we will work on this window, which is written as Untitled 1. It is written as Untitled 1 because yeah, I have not given any name to it right now. So that is why it is written as Untitled 1. After opening the window, you just double click at anywhere in this whiteboard area. And what will happen? see, you you get a shape. You are getting a shape with few question marks. Actually, this is a node or concept that you have just created. So write your concept. Suppose I am writing that simple example that plant has leaves. This is my one proposition. Okay. So I am trying to write that. Just write type plant. After selecting, just type plant, and here you have the concept plant, and then click on this box, and here you can say a hanger like thing. So click on this hanger, left click on this hanger, and drag it to anywhere of the screen. And now here you get another node or another part of the concept. So write it here. What were the concept? Plant and leaves. So I'm typing, and here is the linking phrase lies. So I will click on it and will type. I'm going to type plant has leaves. So this is a complete proposition. You can make it so easily. And right now, what you can see, I have a connector, that is edge, which is connecting the concept plant to leaves with the linking phrase has. But this connector doesn't have any arrowhead, so which is required, because I don't know from which direction I will start, because I can say leaves has plant or plant has leaves. So what is the right concept I am trying to convey, that to show that I have to put that arrowhead here. So for doing that, just click on the edge or the line, and now you can see it has been selected. The line has been selected, and here on the upper right corner, you are having another window named as styles. So this is a board, style board, which is actually the editing board of your concept map. So here you can have all the options to edit the whole concept map, and I am going to explore one by one. So right now I have to work with the line. So here you can see that at the bottom of this style board, here are four tabs. One is written as font. Uh, Please look at my mouse pointer. Here it is written as font. Then the second tab is object. Third one is line, and fourth one is CMap. So you have these four tabs. Actually, these are the controlling unit. These are the objects actually you have in your concept map. Look here, what do you have? You have some fonts. So that fonts will be could be edited from using this font tab. Here you have lines. You can use this line tab to edit this line, properties of the lines. And here are some objects, like these boxes are treated as objects. So these objects could be edited using that object tab. So right now I am going to work on the line, because I need an arrowhead. So I will click on the line tab, and after clicking on line tab, you can see this line tab has these options like colors. You can choose the colors from line for the line. You can choose the thickness of the line. You can choose the styles for the line. You can choose the shape of the line. You may want a very straight line, and sometimes you may need to have a curved line. So that's why these are the options for curved line. And here you can see the connection directions, and this is the part which will provide me with the arrowhead. So I will, and here you can see the arrowheads option. Here you having 4 types of arrowheads connector. So I need a arrowhead, so I'll click on this and see here the arrowhead has appeared. So that is how you can put the arrowhead, or you may use this kind of arrowhead also, that is both side. If something is there like in case of chemistry, you may have the reaction that need to connect it, that is reversible reactions, or some concept you may have which is reversible. So in that case you can use this two-way arrowhead or the single way arrowhead. And suppose uh, after doing this you realize that your arrowhead should be on opposite direction, you have made a mistake. Then what to do? Do you think that you have to write it again? No, actually you can do it by clicking on uh, this reverse tab. What happens when I click to the reverse tab? The arrowhead got reversed. By simply clicking in this reverse tab, the arrowhead will reverse. So this is how I can modify the character of the line. For the ease of readability, I am going to increase the font and the size of the object. So now I am going to work on font. So I'll click on the font tab. Here you can have all the editing options like you have in Microsoft Word. So here you can choose different fonts and size. So I am going to increase the size to 24, and here it is. You can use the bold, italic, underline, color of fonts, paragraphs, margins, everything that you have in your Microsoft Word. And especially for the teachers who are trying to write some equations for mathematics or physics, here in this tab, look here, the mathematical character set. It is written as the mathematical character set. Click on the arrow on the left side of this mathematical character set, and you will get the option to write equations that you have in your Microsoft Word. So this way you can write anything or everything that you want. So right now I am going to increase the size of plant also, and has this phrase, I'm going to increase its size also. So this is I have what I have right now. And you can change the colors and other things, or you can change the size of the object or the box by just clicking and dragging with the corner here, what I am doing like that. So you can resize it, and then also you can go to the object tab, and you will have the different color options that you can use to color the boxes, and you can put some image behind it. This is a very important thing. I will try to show you. See, here you have background image. So what the background word stands for? Actually, this background is meaning the background of this area only, of this box only. It is not meant for the whole background. So with using this background image option, you can change, or you can put images behind your words or in front of your word. So these using these features, you can make a concept map that I have already shown to you, that was consisting some figures and pictures. So to do so, you have to click on the background image or set background button here. So after clicking it, you will get a window like that. And what happens that I told at the very beginning, and I showed you this window that I told, sorry, I'm going to cancel now. And that I told the repository. I told you as the repository of the CMAP tool. Actually, what happens whenever you are trying to use anything in the CMAP, you have to put it in its repository first, because when you are using a background image, you have to put it in its repository, because if you are directly using it from the computer, then what will happen when you transfer this CMAP file to any other computer, it will lose the image. So that's why CMAP functions in this way. They put you have to put the image in this repository first, then you can use the image. Suppose when if you are trying to add a background, what you will see, you are getting a single image here and not more than that. But I have lots of images in my computer, but this is not showing because I have put the only that image in the repository. So that is why I'm getting this image only. So to do so, to add your image to the repository, what to do? You just have to open this window, that is the CMAP repository section, and here you will have the file, and from the file you can find add resources button. So clicking on add resources, you will be redirect to a window which will provide the view of your whole computer, and from your computer you can choose any images, uh, and after selecting that image you will click on this add button, and it will be deposited to this repository, and then you can use this. I have put this image prior, so it is in my repository, and I am going to show how this works. So after clicking on the background, adding background image, I will select the image from repository and will click the OK button, and what is happening? It comes in my background, but what happened? As the image was of very large size, it did such catastrophe, and it exceeds the boundary of that box. So what to do right now? Now you just go that background image option, and here you can find two other tabs have been activated, and go to this second tab, that is complete image visible, which is showing a T like icon. Click on this, and here you have the third option, which is saying that it is scale image. So click on the scale image, and it got scaled within that box. So that is how you can use an image, scale it accordingly, and use to prepare your concept map. Now, I think you have understood, you have a very general idea how to edit the things. It is very easy. Just you have to use these four tabs, mostly the three tabs: font, object, and line. These three things you have to work on. So you just have to use these tabs, and before modifying anything, you have to select that object or thing or word or anything you are trying to modify. You have to select it, just like the Microsoft Word, and then go to any of the tab which you want to, which is your subject for change modification. Use the tab accordingly, choose the tab accordingly, and go to the option. You can have lots of options to modify for the modification purpose. Now I am focusing on the second thing, that we can make a concept like that plant has leaves and plant has roots. So here has is the common linker. So we can use this has linker as a common phrase. We may connect another concept. So what to do? You just select the has button, click on the has, and you will have again the hanger, and drag it to somewhere else, and you will have another object to write on. So just write here root. So now you have plant has leaves, plant has roots. So this way you can go on connecting concept after concept and make a whole concept map very easily. So this is the very basic thing that you can use and prepare a concept map. And now what I'm going to show some other I can say other shortcuts that may be very useful. Now here, see in the right corner, right side of the window, here you can have a CMap list view, a button named as CMap list view. Click on that. What is happening? A window get opened, and here you are seeing that proposition, CMap outline, linking phrase, concept. These 4 tabs are there. So proposition, what I told, proposition means 2 concept linked with a phrase. So here we have 2 concept, plant has leaves, plant has roots. So you are getting this concept listed, enlisted here. So from here you can have a thumbnail view of what concept you have used. So it will be listed here, and here you can see 3 boxes. So what does it mean for? This box 1 for a concept, this is a second concept, and middle one for the linking phrase. Now I'm going to show another very interesting thing. Now I'm going to write leaves are green. Okay, so what I have to do, as I shown you, you have to select the leaves and drag the hanger, and again you have to repeat those things. But I will not do it here. So what I will do, I will just write in these boxes. So I have 2 concepts, leaves and green. So leaves are green. So I will type like that. Leaves. See, already leaves appeared, as I have already used it. So when I start to write leaves, after typing 2 letters, it appeared. So I just have to select is that it as okay, and leaves are, and in the third box green. So I have written and enter. See, here the concept appeared. So this way very easily you can just type it here. It will be automatically added to your map. So right now I can connect another concept, that roots are white, because I am again using this R. So roots are white. If I write like that, so again I'm typing roots. When I started writing, root appeared. So I select root, R, R appeared. So I select it and then tab white, suppose. See, concept map has its own intelligence. It took the it didn't connect the R with this root just because it thought that that will not that will not have a very good appearance. So that's why it make a separate R. And if it says that these R could be used and the map will be looking beautiful, then it may connect this by its own intelligence. So it has its own intelligence, and using that intelligence it will create put the concepts accordingly in your map. You just go on typing and entering, it will connect automatically the concept and make a draft map for you. Then you just work on that map for its beautification, and that is up to you. What you want to do, you can do. So these are the very basic things and useful things for this CMap. So now I am going to focus how to save, or ultimately when you have prepared these things, you have to save it in a format that is readable and easily printable. Otherwise, it will not be for any use. You cannot use it anything until you can print it easily or save it in a readable format. So that's why you have to go to the file. Here you click on file, and initially what is my suggestion, my suggestion will be, initially you click on the save cmap button. Then when you click the save cmap button, you will redirect it to this window. This window will pop up, and here you can give any title. Suppose I am giving title TLC. So name, here you can have different options like focus questions, keyword, languages, author, organization, email. Every information you can put it here. Initially, you may think what will be the use of this information here. Actually, what happens when you are very much used to with this software, you are making you are using and making regularly lots of concepts map, and after a few days it will very hard to find one of them at the time of your use. So if you from the very beginning, if you start to put some keywords for each concept map, you just then just search with using those keywords, and it will appear easily in front of you, which you are searching. So that's why I recommend that you can use these fields, or otherwise just give the name and click on the save button. It will save in its native format, that is CMap format, which is not readable to other devices. Which if you use this CMap format and transfer it to another desktop where the CMap is not installed, that desktop cannot read that format. So that is why right now you have to convert it with a universally readable format. So this universal readable format that I will prefer is JPEG. JPEG is the image format. So we want to save it as JPEG. So for doing that, again click on file, and you can see the save cmap as option. Click on that, and here you will get the options for saving. Sorry, I'm getting it. I think I have clicked on wrong button. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Huh? You can get the export cmap as, that should be used. This was my mistake. Click on the file and click on the export cmap as, and here you will get the options that you want to use, like image file, pdf, ps, svg, even as web page. Whatever you want, you can get it here enlisted. And I will go for the image file because I want to save it as image. So I'll click on the image file format. Now you have to choose your destination, where you want to save. So I am choosing desktop, and remaining leaving the name as TLC as I saved it, and the file type as JPEG. And now just click on save. So it got saved, and now let us see whether it is saved or not. So I'm minimizing the window, and here it is saved. So I get it as image. So this way you can use the CMap tool very easily. Actually, you will may face some problem because right now you don't have your system in front of you, and your system doesn't have the CMap tool install it. So what you can do, you can have this tutorial, this video what of this session in our YouTube channel. So you in further you can install the CMap tool in your system and then go to the YouTube video, and from there you have whatever I have shared or I have shown to you, and use that as your tutorial and do practice in your system. So uh, so right now I am stopping the screen share here. And now here we go. So I would like to invite the participant. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Actually,
Hmm.
I'm a teacher from West Bengal Board of Secondary Education.
Yes. Yes,
Hello.
tell me. Tell me. I'm getting you.
Yeah. We already have a concept map format
Yes.
in our syllabus,
Yes.
and there are options to
Okay.
carry out the concept maps.
Okay.
Okay, so I can just show one such, though it is in Bengali,
Yes.
I can show them one of them. Just
Okay.
give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. I think if I share my screen, it will be visible. Just a minute. Yeah. Is it visible now? Hello.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay.
Hmm.
So just we can see this is a pattern. It's a
Yes.
sample
Yes.
followed in our board
Yes.
for class 9. It is about acids
Hmm.
and bases and salts,
Hmm.
all these things.
Hmm.
So we already,
Hello, I'm not getting your voice. Repeat, please.
yeah.
Hmm.
We are already used to these patterns for concept map.
Yes, and I think lots of other boards have already
Yeah.
integrated this concept map in their part, but
Mhm,
teachers are not till well acquainted with it. So that is
mhm.
why our purpose is to share this ICT tool that you can use to make such concept map, even much better concept map than this with this tool.
Yeah, definitely. The tool will definitely,
Hmm.
already uh, what we are studying, the tool will help us
Yeah.
to make an enriched version.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And recently, the B.Ed syllabus also has this concept map. The
Yes,
thing,
yes.
yes, that was not integrated earlier, but it is right now. Recently, it has been integrated in B.Ed syllabus also. So the during the training, you have to go
Mhm.
through this concept map like things.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you.
So thank you, Subroto Babu, and anyone else. Would you like to have ask any question? Or do you have any ideas to share? Okay, actually, yes, Mrinalini madam, are you trying to say something? Your mic was
I
on.
was trying to ask what you illustrated the difference between flow diagrams and concept map. Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
put more clarity on how it is different from mind map exactly?
Okay. So mind map is a another kind of visual organizer. Actually, in mind map, what happens? In mind map or brain map, uh, there are some concepts which remain as the central idea, and then we put or connect other ideas that is related to that central idea, and we map those ideas centering a central idea. Actually, whenever we are trying to draw a mind map or a brain map, we actually do focus on some central idea and the ideas that are derived from that central idea. But in case of concept map, there is no such central idea. Actually, there here you can have several stratas, you can have several concepts of equal stratas, of equal hierarchies, and they are connected to each other. But in case of mind map or brain map, keep in one thing in mind, that in case of brain map or mind map, you should have a central idea and other derivatives of that idea. And this is actually the basic difference between these two. And another thing, the linking phrase that we use in concept map, which is making it unique. So is it clear, Mrinalini ma'am?
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So actually, these are the different kind of visual organizer that we use according to our needs. So in case of our profession, that is as educator, this concept map is very much useful tool. So actually, what happens? I could understand that this is the very first time you are introduced with this tool, so you may not have ideas right now what you want to share or what the problem you will face. You cannot assume right now, and when you will try to use the thing, you will come to know what are the problem that you are facing. Actually, to download the CMAP, just go in Google, type the word CMAP tools, and it will show you in the very first link the website of the CMAP tools, and go to that website, and there you will have the option to download, and you have to choose your operating system, because CMAP is compatible with operating system like Linux, Mac, that is uh, and Windows. For all the three platform, it is compatible. So you have to choose your operating system and the version of operating system. Then they will there another window will pop up and will ask for some information, like and you just fill up that form, and you will get the link, and downloads will start. And after downloading the software, it will hardly take 91 MBs like that. And after that, you just install and go on. So in between, I would like to mention another very good ICT based tool, another name, that is Geogebra. Saddam Khan is here with us. He is the expert in that Geogebra tool. He is developing lots of contents to how to introduce Geogebra in classroom, how to use this to involve the students to do projects with the Geogebra. So if network of Saddam permits, I will he can show you some example if he is ready to show. I don't know, because I didn't tell him earlier for the preparation, but I can mention that the GeoGebra, the tool you can use, and it is a very good tool, because with the GeoGebra you can visualize the mathematics, and that is the uniqueness of GeoGebra. You can visualize a equation. Suppose y equals mx plus c, we know that equation. But if some student ask you, ma'am, how this equation came, what it will look like, or sir, what will it look like? And so this is a very difficult thing to make them visualize such equations in a visual format. So do so. For doing so, we can very effectively use that GeoGebra. Saddam, can you hear me?
Yes, Anubandha, I can hear.
So do you have any example that you can show here right now? Do you have that facility?
Uh, Sorry, Anubandha, but
Yeah, I can understand because
uh,
I didn't tell you earlier. So not a problem. We can show it in next class, isn't it, Saddam?
okay, okay, hi,
We
okay,
can
okay,
just put few example because I know Saddam
okay, okay,
due
I
to
can try
lockdown,
to.
Saddam has to move in his native place, and that is a very remote village, and there he cannot he does not have any good bandwidth internet with a good bandwidth, so that's why he is not being able to take the classes. But if everything permits, I think Saddam will like to show you the GeoGebra in next class. But what I can say that GeoGebra has another facility. It is also compatible with the Android mobile. So you can install that app from the Google Play Store, and initially you can start using it, and you start just explore it by yourself, and you will get lots of things. And for the tutorial purpose, I can tell you there are lots of tutorials on YouTube's, on the website itself of the GeoGebra, so that using that tutorials you can use this tool very effectively. And that was an amazing tool, I can say you. This is very much that will be very much effective to use in not only the mathematics. You can use to visualize the things in physics, you can use it to visualize or draw the structure in chemistry also. There are lots of fields that where you can use that GeoGebra tool. So today you can start to explore that GeoGebra tool from after downloading it from Play Store, and you can start using it. That will be my suggestion to you. So, do you have any question in on? Yes,
I
Atanu
have a
Ghosh,
question, sir. Yeah.
please.
Actually, is there any difference, or could be differences between the CMAP tools and GeoGebra, or
Yes,
whichever is better for my subject is biology. So
yeah.
regarding that, which platform is more suitable for me?
Yeah, actually, sir, Mr. Ghosh, these are the two different tool made for two different purpose. CMAP is made for the concept development of concept map, which is again I will tell, and you have already go through the whole session, and you can find it is
Sure,
very
sure.
much useful for anyone from
Mhm.
any subject in our profession or from any other professions. It will be a very great tool, and the GeoGebra will be very much useful for those who are trying to teach mathematics, physics, and in to some extent
Mhm.
chemistry also.
Yeah, yeah. And I've already downloaded the CMAP,
Yeah,
so I am already started exploring in the desktop
yeah, it is.
actually.
I think
So
it will be very much easy to use, and you can get
it is
expertise within very few days.
yeah, yeah. It's quite easy. No problem. So I think it will be better for biologists like us to use that tool only
Yeah, you
rather
can
than
stick on that.
GeoGebra.
Yeah. GeoGebra
Okay,
mostly
okay.
helps
Thank you.
to when you are trying, if you have to take any classes in mathematics or physics, then you can go for the GeoGebra and you can explore it.
Okay, okay. It was a wonderful presentation from you. Thank you very much.
So welcome, Mr. Ghosh, and anyone else. Okay, then I would like to welcome any suggestion or comment. If you don't have any question, you may comment or give any suggestion if you have. If you have, so I'd like to suggestions. and comments. Welcome your comments session. So I would like to welcome the comments from our experts also, like Professor Samanto, Professor Shike Ghosh. If they are here, they can also comment on that. So,
So I would like to raise one thing.
oh, okay. Please tell me.
From the experiences that I've gathered from the last uh, 3 classes and including today's class, it will be better the experiments that actually are being shown or discussed all about is or everything regarding physics and that, and it will be better if something about biology or anything can
Yeah,
done
yeah,
also
yeah,
a little
yeah. I
bit.
will discuss actually what is the problem. Due to the lockdown, we don't have the access to our laboratory materials or everything that we have. So that is why suddenly we started the program. And initially, few things were left with Professor Samanto in his house, and it is always being left with him. So that's why we are mostly focusing on the physics things. But I will discuss on biology also, and I will try to show how the things are very much interdisciplinary. Using few examples from biology, I will try to connect to physics and chemistry.
Sure, sure.
This kind of session I would like to take in upcoming classes. But
It will be a
in
very
that
much
case,
actually things are
yeah, in that case, I may
interdisciplinary these
not
days.
be able to show the experiment, but I can share the ideas how those experiments can be done.
Hey,
That will be
Anirban,
fine.
Yes, sir.
Anirban,
Yes, sir.
do you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, I have got a video on photosynthesis experiment,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah.
show it.
You
Okay.
took it earlier, so yeah, you can share it.
Hey, should I
Sure,
show it
sir.
right
You
now or
can share.
next time we shall do it?
Yeah, I think we have few more 15 minutes, so you can show it. Actually, Professor Samant is
Yes.
going to share experiment that we usually do to demonstrate the photosynthesis to our student. But what happens for doing this experiment? This is a very common and popular experiment. But doing that experiment, we usually find that we don't have a large size 500 like 500 or 1 liter size beakers in our laboratory, and there is also a problem for carrying those glass beakers in classrooms and making the arrangement. So few of our experts has developed a very handy tool, a very low cost arrangement to do that experiment. And Professor Samanto has already told you about the story that he demonstrated this experiment for defending a project, and he got appreciated very much. So he's going to show you that experiment setup because he had recorded it earlier. So I think sir will share it shortly.
Yes, just 1 minute.
Yeah. And after showing it, I can discuss over it on upcoming sessions that how this single experiment setup could be used to do at least 6 to 10 experiment or derivative experiments, and which are very much necessary to understand the photosynthesis, because photosynthesis is very much interesting chapter in biology. Practically, if you try to understand the photosynthesis properly, I think you should have a very good understanding of physics. Otherwise, you cannot remember it for a very long time. That usually happens to our students because most of our biology teachers usually focus on the biology part only. They do not well acquainted with this physics part. So what happens, our student do not didn't get idea, very much clear idea about the physics which working behind this photosynthesis process, because it is a very light, it is a light dependent process. And the chemistry part is well acquainted with, our teachers are well acquainted and students are well acquainted because they got the reactions and everything, they are habituated with that. But mostly biologists try to escape from the part of physics. And in India, still there is a very lack of, I can say, interest in this physics part that is working behind the biology in our schools and colleges also. So in that case, I will try to explain or connect those concepts with this experience in later on. So, Samantha sir, are you sharing or
Yes,
preparing?
it's coming. Just
Okay, sir.
Ananda, is it visible?
Yes. Put it in full screen mode, David. Then we can view it more clearly.
now only when we explain the things.
Okay. So here, sir, I would request you to pause the video and freeze in the very fast frame.
Okay, it has been done.
No, now freeze it in the very fast frame, sir.
Okay.
Starting frame. Yeah, in this frame, we can visualize the whole setup. Actually, here you can see to do the experiment of photosynthesis, everyone among us know this experiment, gone through the experiment during their student life, that we take some hydrilla plant, that is an aquatic plant, and then cut their ends of the hydrilla and tied them with a thread, and then put these hydrillas within a beaker, within a funnel, and it may take a test tube that is then filled with water and kept inverted on that funnel, and then the whole setup, including the test tube, the funnel, and the hydrilla, is kept within a big beaker. And what happens then when sunlight comes, the hydrilla start doing photosynthesis, and as a result of photosynthesis, oxygen bubble starts to come out from the cut end of these hydrilla plants, and it will and it get we can view that bubbles entering in the test tube, and the gas is being deposited in the topmost part of the test tube, and that is the whole thing. So what I told you that oftenly we don't have this large size beaker or anything. So what we did, we just took a 1.5 liter size of cold drink bottle. Here you can see, and we cut the upper part. So you can imagine the upper part, the cone-shaped upper part, now become a funnel, mouth of the funnel, and then we attach a test tube with M-seal at the end of that mouth, and it takes a fully functional shape of the funnel, and the lower part we can use as a large beaker. And this can be this is available everywhere, and it will cost nothing, but the experiment goes very well with this setup. And I will ask Professor Samanto to start the video. Here you can have a glimpse.
When it is put in sunlight, you see that oxygen bubbles are coming up.
Sunlight or any
Yes, in artificial light also.
any artificial light that is sufficient for.
And in water, some soda bicarb has been added.
Yeah, sodium bicarbonate you can add to maximize the to increase the carbon dioxide concentration, so that photosynthesis can go faster.
This is actually truly an interdisciplinary experiment involving physics, chemistry, biology, and even math also together.
And in upcoming classes, for low cost experiment, we will discuss on this experiment how we can derivatize this experiment and measure or uh, study on several factors that are affecting photosynthesis and how we can connect other concepts with using the experiment like this, or I can discuss some other experiments on respiration. When you don't have respiroscope in your classroom, it is often it's a very common scenario because respiroscope is costly and often it gets broken. So in that case, how could you organize that respiration experiment of respiration? So I will discuss on it in the upcoming session. Actually, what we say, science is not compartmentalized in nature. In nature, the science is free. It is existing in a complex form, in intermingled form. Actually, what we did compartmentalize the science to for the ease of our own understanding. So actually, there is no such compartment or barrier in between different subjects. So when you are trying to explore some phenomena, natural phenomena, or when you are trying to study something, you have to go through different concepts of different domains. And until or unless you do it, you cannot understand the whole thing. So you cannot have the overall clear idea. So, but what we do in our classroom, we always, so we may be a teacher of physics or chemistry or biology, we always focus on a single subject, and it appear in front of a student that these subjects are very much separate. They are, in fact, maybe the enemy of one another. We cannot connect the physics with chemistry or biology. So they didn't get the actual idea of science. So we always try to say that make a practice of interdisciplinary teaching in your classroom. If you are a teacher of physics, please try to understand um, some phenomena of biology, how physics is being applied in the biology. Actually, if you are a teacher of physics, uh, then biology is your laboratory. Biology is the application part of physics. It's a living model in front of you. So if we think I am teacher of physics and I don't understand biology, so I'm not telling you that if you are a physics teacher and you have to understand the biology at postgraduate level. I'm not telling you that, but we should have some basic ideas, and we have some open mind to think, to accept that how it is related. We have to coordinate, connect the concept, and then if we can then present it in front of our student, that will be very much good for them. And upcoming classes, I will try to show some few example how we can connect the concept of physics with biology. And chemistry is always remain connected, and biologists and chemists are very much well acquainted with the subject each other. But in case of physics and mathematics are really remain somehow separated till date in our classrooms, so from the biology. So that's why I will try to connect few things, give some example, and you can then you can think over it, you can design more things, you can go through, explore more things, and please do share with your students. And that is our main aim, because we have to serve our end user most. So, Professor Samanto, would you like to say something?
No, it's fine. Only thing is that as you have told that things are really interdisciplinary, we have to find the connection between the different subjects. Okay, that we are missing. We are actually, this connection is missing, and that missing is actually for on that is our creation. So whenever, actually, I shall tell a small story about it. That photosynthesis experiment, we actually studied in details to some extent, because I am not a biology teacher. I have not learned biology at any stage. So, but a few years back, almost 2-3 years back, we decided to organize one program involving school teachers on interdisciplinary science teaching workshop. And you see that we took, and to explain the things, we took photosynthesis as an example, because we believe that photosynthesis is the experiment, is the phenomena where physics, chemistry, biology, and maths come together and very intensively. I was given the task of preparing the topic, and in fact, we wrote a concept map also, but I was not involved in that exercise because I am not at all comfortable with this C mapping. But ultimately, we call for this program almost 300 teachers from the 3 districts of Midnapur, you see. But ultimately, anyhow, we can manage 30 teachers who came from 10 schools and like that. But that was ultimately a very good program. So you please see that, because you see that as Donovan was telling perhaps correctly, that we don't see eye to eye. As if physics teacher knows that he knows everything. And biology teachers, actually, they suffer from some inferiority complexes. And that is very bad. Biology is really very complicated subject, and we do not know. In fact, present situation actually testimonies that fact, that we do not know anything about biology or the science as such. So in our school environment, staff room should be it should be the place where we can discuss the things. Why? You see, one bad experience of my exercise with this teacher training program, you see, that sometimes in a particular program, I ask teachers to answer one question. Suppose there is a boy who is 40 kilogram, but his height is 5 feet. What is the BMI? You see, the physical science teachers, including mathematics, wrote that we do not know, we are not biology teachers, we do not know what is the relevant formula. And biology teachers wrote, yes, we know the formula, but we cannot convert foot into meter. So this is the situation, you see. I think this should not go for all time to come. And only this can happen in the teacher staff room in schools. They can discuss the things which are very much connected to this. That is my message to you. Please think. And another thing I shall suggest, that as we have shown you the experiment, you can draw the concept map if you like. Then we shall understand many things. Okay. That I want to convey to you.
Yeah, in that interdisciplinary workshop that we organized, actually what we did, we give a task to the teacher that we told them, please make a group within your school, make a group with one teacher from biology, one teacher from chemistry, and one teacher from physics. And then you come together and explain one interdisciplinary topic with the help of experiment and concept map. And in that, during your demonstration, the 3 teachers can take part equally to explain their part involved in the subject. And that was a really beautiful program. And lots of things come in front of us, which we enjoyed, we have shared. So we naturally we do this kind of thing on a very frequently. So, and whatever you are seeing, you are doing in this digital platform, we do this kind of workshop in physical mode also. And that is a residential workshop of 5 days, where the teachers are invited from everywhere in our IIT Kharagpur campus. They stay there for 5 days, and from beginning from morning 9 o'clock to evening 6 o'clock, we do lots of things together, and we enjoy. And then evening they go to roam about. They take a walk within the IIT. They visit different places, and these 5 days goes on very in a very beautiful way. And we also provide the TA for the teachers and everything we do organize. Just teachers are invited, they have to come and join us, and everything will be looked after by us. That remains our formula for the structure for the workshop in physical mode. And lots of teachers, those have taken the first phase training in this online platform. Most of them, or I can say all of them, have attended in some time this physical workshops also. And in the second phase, we are doing it with the teachers who are very much new to our system, and we are trying to share our idea online. And if times permits, and we can meet again physically if everything goes on very well. That I hope.
That will be fine, sir. We are eager to participate physically too.
Yeah, we had a plan, but this critical situation put it in us in this loop. So we hope everything will go on fine, and one day we will again we could organize that physically. So thank you everybody for hearing me, and I hope it will work for you. And with a big thank, I would like to end the session. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.